Hey, friends all over the world. You got to stop doing this immediately. Stop it immediately. You got to stop doing this. It's hurting you. You must change this immediately. Immediately. Please listen to this warning. Change this immediately. You must change this immediately, friends. If you found yourself tired, if you found yourselves worn out, if you find yourself always frustrated all the time, like feeling like, man, the dots aren't connecting, things aren't happening for me, things don't seem to be moving forward, I have all these ideas, all these dreams, and nothing seems to be coming to fruition. And you've been in this cycle for maybe even years. You say, man, what in the world is going on? Listen, you got to change this immediately. Let me tell you what you need to change. Listen to this. You need to change your circle of influence. See, let me tell you something that you need to understand. See, the problem some of you guys are having is that you're being tolerated. You are being tolerated, but you're not being celebrated. I'll never forget, even in my experience as a leader, my organization was not reaching its potential. You know, I wasn't seeing things come to fruition, and I was so frustrated. I'm saying, God, why? I just felt so limited. I felt so like I was in a cage. And God told me what it was. He said, you got bad people on your team. He said, you got people around you who don't believe in you. You got folks who are not with you, but you're next to them, but they're not with you. They don't believe in your vision. They're not supporting you. They're not blessing you. I'm telling you, this is so dangerous. Some of you have people in your circle who do not see the value in you. And that's why you're tolerated. You see, when there's something about being in a community or being in a network or being in a circle of influence where the people around you actually believe you. They actually believe in you. They believe in your vision. They believe in your dream. And they want you to succeed. They want you to prosper. I mean, you got folks around you that every time God does something for you, they're like, oh, okay. God bless you with this. Oh, that's great. And you can see they're not happy. They're not happy for you. I went through that. I had people around me that were not really there with me. And it caused me to strain my gifting. It caused me to be frustrated because I was always trying to push them. I was always trying to push it. Like, come on, man, guys. Hey, man, good. You need to change this immediately. Some of you, the thing you need to change is your circle of influence. You need to, the Bible says evil communication corrupts good manners. Sometimes you will never reach your goals. You will never reach your dreams if you don't surround yourself with the right people. Even Abraham could not go on to what God wanted him to have until he disconnected from Lot. Do you know that? Abraham had to disconnect from Lot. And some of you need to disconnect from toxic circles. People that are negative, people that are ignorant. You know, sometimes we have ignorant folks around us, and their ignorant behavior is hurting you. You know, it's like a football player. He gets drafted, #1 draft pick, $35 million contract. You know, he's grew up in Liberty City, Miami, and now he's going to play for a top NFL team, and all kind of doors are opening and sponsorships, and here come his hood, and they say, hey man, we want to go, and he starts trying to bring everybody with him. He's trying to bring the whole hood with him into the NFL, and it destroys their careers. Because you got Pookie with you. You got a bunch of ignorant folks with you. Sometimes they even try to bring their ignorant, leeching family members with them. And now, 5 years into the NFL, they're a free agent. They don't have nobody wants to deal with them. You see, this is an example. Sometimes we need to get rid of unproductive connections, relationships, people around us that are not. I'm trying to tell you, there's a pastor watching me right now. You need to fire half your staff because they're not there with you. They don't support you. They don't believe in the vision. They're just there. They're just there. And here's how you know. You're constantly trying to convince them to go forward. That's one of the ways you know you with the wrong circle. You're constantly trying to, hey guys, listen, man. And they're like, okay. They're always hesitant. They're not excited about what God is doing in your life. They're not excited for you. They're not happy for you. See, a real friend, like when you got a real good team, when you got a good team, they're with you. They want you to succeed more than you want to succeed. They want you to win more than you want you to win. They support you. They pour in. They pray for you. They intercede for you. They don't tolerate you. They celebrate you. They listen, this is how you know. They are your #1 cheerleaders. Your number one evangelist. They're always telling people about what God is doing in your life. I'm not talking about being a groupie or being, anything like that. I'm talking about when you really have when there's really folks around you ordained by God, and God sends you some real destiny helpers. These people are shouting your praises. They're always talking about, they see the best in you. They want you to win. They want you to be successful. They want you to prosper. They're not competing with you. They recognize your value and your worth. They want to be around you. Listen, if you got folk, you got to convince them to be around you. That's not the kind of person you want to be with. You got to convince them to be around you. No. When I first started, this is a real transparent moment, but when I first started the ministry, I really struggled with this because a lot of people who were around me didn't want to be there. And so I didn't realize I was doing this, but I spent most of my time and my energy trying to convince people why they should be connected to me. I had to convince people, hey man, come on, y'all stay, and okay. And then I had to, watch this, then you find yourself trying to bribe them for their acceptance. Hey man, I'll give you a position. I'll give you some money. I'll take you out to eat. I'll give you some food. If you gotta bribe folks to be around you, you got the wrong network. Change it immediately. And I guarantee you're gonna find yourself a lot more productive a lot more successful. You're going to see your life much more fruitful. You need folks that pray with you, not pray on you. Good God Almighty. You need people who pray, P-R-A-Y, not people who pray, P-R-E-Y. They sound the same, but it's not the same. It sounds the same, but it's not the same. There's some folks that are not praying with you, they're praying on you. And I believe that you need to change this immediately. Think about this. You trying to drag folk with you who don't even want to be there. They don't want to have nothing to do with you. It could be family members too. They don't want to have nothing to do with you. Listen, watch this. Watch how people act when God blesses you. Y'all better hear me today. I'm giving you, this isn't, well, talk to people about the Lord. I'm talking about the Lord. Evil communication corrupts good manners. How can two walk together, Amos chapter 2, except they be agreed? Jesus said in Matthew chapter 18, where two or three or more shall agree as touching anything. You need to make sure that you're in agreement with the folks around you. You need to make sure that they're praying for the same things you're praying for. You need to make sure. Watch how folks act when God blesses you. If people get mad when God blesses you, they have an evil heart. I'm telling you, don't you ignore that. Don't you ignore that scowl on their face. You say, oh man, God just blessed me with a house. And they're like, really? Cut them off. I'm telling you, that person is not for you. They don't want you to win. They don't want you to succeed. Listen, if they're friends with everybody who's against you, that person's not with you. Y'all better, I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to help you. Some of you are frustrated because you're under the witchcraft power and the spell of wrong influence. You feel the need because you're lonely to accept anyone who says they're going to come into your life. And so you got to understand, if that person does not want you to be blessed, if they don't want you to succeed, if they don't get happy for you, this is not about being vain. I'm telling you, if you look at any successful person, one of the things that they have that's a common denominator is a good team. Their circle of influence is strong. You don't last years in ministry. You don't last years in business without a good team. You got to have a strong team. You need a strong team of people around you who are called to you and they know their assignment. They know, I'm assigned to you. You're my friend. And come hell or high water, they're with you. Weaknesses or strengths. Good days, not so good days. That person knows that, you know what? This is the person God has yoked me with, and I want this person to be. They pray for you. They shed tears when you're going through, because they're with you. Don't stop. Listen to me. Stop. Stop being tolerated. Change this immediately. If you're in a circle where you're being tolerated, but you're not being celebrated, you're not being pushed forward, you're not being sold into. I'm not talking about being selfish, because you got to do the same thing. You got to be that. You got to be that for other people. You got to be what you want to see. I tell people all the time, you got to be what you want to see. Don't change this. Look at your circle. Look, what value, you got to ask this, what value has this connection added to my life? Is it pushing me closer to my goals? Is it pushing me closer to the vision God has for me? Or am I being pushed further away from what God's called me to do? You got to ask yourself that. Come on now. You sitting up here dragging folks along that don't want to even go with you. You've told them what your vision is 10 times. They still don't get it. That's the wrong connection. They just don't get it. Well, man, we're going to do this. We're gonna do what? Man, we're going to what? Huh? Okay, you got to go. Because I told you 10 times what the vision is, and you don't want to get it because you don't care to get it. You have no desire to get it. You don't have any vision. Come on now. Come on now. This is what I'm trying to tell you. That team. See, I'm telling you, there's leaders. Listen, if you're a pastor, sit your behind down. Don't be trying to get around here and preach and teach and do Facebook Live. Stop all that foolishness. People ask me, they always ask me to mentor them in ministry. Oh, I want you to mentor me and I want to start my ministry. The first thing I tell people, oh, Pastor, we started I told somebody the other day, I said, close it down. Because see, before you build, you need to make sure you have the right tools. And you got to have the right team. You need the right tools and the right team. A lot of times what happens is that when you're trying to build something, and even if you have the right tools, but you don't have the right team, it's going to be counterproductive. And that's why stop it. Don't preach another sermon until you get you a team. I even advise a lot of pastors, before you jump out there and try to start a church, spend a whole year just building your team. 12 months, build your team. Get you the right people in positions of leadership. Get you the right intercessors, the right prayer warriors, the right administrators, the right strategists. Because what's going to happen, you can say, well, no, I got to do it right now. But if that team is not intact, I'm telling you, you're going to take 2 steps forward and 10 steps backwards. And that's why a lot of ministries don't grow. A lot of churches don't grow. Aside from the obvious other reasons, some of them are not called. Some of them, God never told them to start a church. Some of them just have dysfunction in the ministry or sin, whatever the case may be. But some of them are called. But the reason the ministry is not growing, they don't have a good team. Jesus built a strong team. He spent 3.5 years building a team. And that team, except for Judas, stayed together. And he could trust them. See, this is what I'm trying to explain to you. Stop. I'm telling you. Change this. Look at your circle. Look at your circle. Look at your circle. Look at the people you have around you. Look at who's speaking into your life. Look at whose lives you're speaking into. Think about it.